Now, two men convicted in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery will now head to trial on federal hate crime charges after their plea deal with prosecutors fell apart. Gregory McMichael and his son Travis had reached a deal saying the 2020 killing was a racially motivated attack. The pair withdrew those guilty pleas late last week and will now face a jury of their peers. Jury selection is set to begin this morning. NBC News correspondent Blaine Alexander joins us now with the latest from Brunswick, Georgia. Hey, Blaine, good morning. So walk us through this here. Gregory and Travis McMichael were convicted, as people probably remember, in state court last November. They were both sentenced to life behind bars. What was in this plea deal, though, with these federal prosecutors, and why did the judge reject it?
Well, Savannah, good morning to you. You know, one of the things that we heard repeatedly from Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, is that she was very strongly against that plea deal. And the biggest reason she gave is because the McMichaels would have been incarcerated in a federal penitentiary rather than a state prison for the first 30 years of their life sentence. Now, she said that she was against that because she didn't want them, rather, to have what she called their preferred place of incarceration. So that deal was an interesting one because, again, they're already facing life in prison without the possibility of parole. That's already decided. What this plea deal would have done, however, was if they had pleaded guilty to essentially being racially motivated when they chased down and ultimately killed Ahmaud Arbery, that would have meant that they would have gone into federal custody, served the first 30 years in federal prison. Now, we heard the judge reject the terms of that plea deal after listening to the Arbery family speak, but also because she said she didn't want to be tied into what the sentencing agreement was that they'd worked out. So they ultimately decided to not go ahead and plead guilty, and they're going to take their chances in front of a jury, Savannah.
And now, Blaine, I mentioned just moments ago the state trial. Of course, many people probably remember that. It was quite high profile late in the year. Yeah. That's when these men were convicted. Now, this is a federal hate crimes trial. So tell us, how will this focus be different, and what can we expect to see as this gets underway?
Savannah, we're likely going to see race come to the forefront of this trial in a way that we did not see in the state trial. Remember, what they're on trial for here is to determine whether or not race played a factor. If they essentially decided to chase down Ahmaud Arbery and ultimately kill him because he is a black man. So we know that just in the pretrial hearings, the prosecution has alluded to the fact that there are racist text messages, Facebook posts, social media posts that they will likely try and get into this trial as well. So that's one of the biggest differences that we're going to see here. Also, I do know that, speaking with Wanda Cooper Jones, of course, who's the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, she was very emotionally impacted by the first trial. Talking to her attorney, it was a difficult thing for her to sit through. So I asked, why would she be willing to sit through this again? And would not a guilty plea, an admission of guilt that they, did chase him down because he's black, wouldn't that be of some comfort to her? And her attorney, Lee Merritt, said no, she's heard all she needs to hear from them, and she's willing to go through a trial like this again if it means ultimate justice for her son. Savannah.
Yeah, tough to hear some of those details. Now, Blaine, as we mentioned, jury selection for this trial is set to begin today. Now, back in the state trial, this was a grueling process. And of course, this story has gotten so much publicity over the last 2 years. We do already have that other conviction. So will all of that make jury selection more difficult?
Some legal experts believe that it may actually. Consider this. They were, up until just a few days ago, Gregory and Travis McMichael had every intention of pleading guilty to hate crime charges. In fact, Travis McMichael did enter a guilty plea and then wound up withdrawing that. So you're going to have to think about jurors who potentially have been watching news coverage. Of course, all the back and forth of last week was covered extensively. So, of course, they'll be instructed not to consider that. But certainly that will be a big question as to whether or not that has influence when it comes to selection, Savannah.
All right, Blaine Alexander, thank you so much.